Hello, I'm Catriona Morten. I'm a sensory motor psychotherapist, and today I would like to talk to you about how to manage our negative thoughts. We all have them to a varying degree, but sometimes it's really hard to switch them off. And the problem with our negative thoughts is that we believe them, and they can really impact on our mood, what we believe about certain situations. If one of the negative thoughts is, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Am I having a heart attack? Is there something seriously wrong with me? And it can just go into overdrive. And then with the internet, it's brilliant because it can just ramp up massively. It's really difficult to just stop thinking. Stop thinking those negative thoughts. Think of different thoughts. Reframe those thoughts and think it's still all thinking. And the minute you take your foot off trying to manage them, they just start whirring back up again. And they'll catch us when we're unawares, when our mind's off in another direction. They can be really debilitating for people, especially if we believe them. People who have OCD, they will have these really nagging negative thoughts of consequences of what will happen if I don't do a certain thing. So we can't just switch them off. We can't just think our way out of overthinking, because that's what we're doing. And the last thing that our head wants is to lose that capacity to think. Just think our way out of it. We'll just, go over and over and it'll be good. The head actually wants to keep doing that, and it will be very resistant to having that turned off. The best and simplest way of doing that is to take our awareness out of our head, where we're watching and thinking and noticing our thought, giving them all this attention. Let's take the attention away from the negative thoughts and into the body, because the brilliant thing is we can't multitask with our awareness and our attention. So when we take it as fully as we can into our body, then the racing negative thoughts, they just start settling down. Because a lot of the time with the negative thoughts, either they've been triggered from anxiety felt in the body about something, oh my God, what's wrong? Or the head sparks off the body into feeling more anxious, and they just drive each other. So when we can take our awareness into our body and take it as fully in as possible, then one, we're much more mindful. We're letting everything in our nervous system settle and regulate, and it gives our thoughts in our head a circuit break. And sometimes it can settle for ages. If we know that that's a really good technique, then it can be a go-to thing. Every time that wears up, it's like, okay, I need to get out of my head. And so when I'm working with someone to try and get them into their body, we want the easiest route possible. For some people, following their breath is really simple and easy. And so it can be as simple as, okay, I'm just going to follow 5 breaths in and out. I'm just going to notice the way that I'm breathing, the speed I'm breathing, the movement of my body. I'm not going to be judgmental about it. I'm just going to notice how I'm breathing. For some people that can be quite a task and a little bit triggering as well. If it's like, oh, I'm not breathing very well, the negative thoughts can just take a grip. So if you can do that, brilliant. But if that's a bit more difficult and a bit more problematic, then we can take a little snapshot of, yeah, my breath's a little bit tight, I'm not really breathing that deeply, and go to a different part of our body. We can take it all the way down to our feet, for instance. Can you feel your feet? Can you feel the temperature of your feet? Can you feel them either on the floor or in your slippers or in your shoes? Can you feel your toes moving? Can you move both of your feet together? Can you move one foot at a time? Can you go from one to the other? Can you scrunch your toes in and release them? Have you got control over them? Can you speed up the movements? Can you make a little rhythm out of it, and then you slow them down? Do them together. When we do something like that and work with our feet and take our awareness and our attention into that place, how does it feel? Then our thoughts immediately slow down. We can do similar things with just say the muscles in our arms. And the beauty of these things is, I always think we need things that we can do sitting on a tube, standing at the bus stop, when nobody would know we're even doing them, but we can feel ourselves doing them. And we can do that with our muscles. Find how many muscles you can squeeze in your arms. I'm doing it right now, you can't really tell I'm doing it. Apart from I've told you I'm doing it. Squeeze them until the muscles say, oh, you can't squeeze me any tighter, and start to kind of give a bit of a shake. How slowly can you release them? Can you get control? Can you release them really slowly? Can you feel them starting to uncreak and release themselves? How do they tell you when they're released as far as they can go? You're tuning in and listening to what your body's telling you. You're taking your curiosity inwards to see what's happening, how it feels. If we rub our hands together and get some really good friction going and some heat, we're getting chi energy going. When we stop we can feel the buzzing in our hands. Sometimes it spreads to other parts of our body. Can you notice that? Can you really feel the heat and the buzzing of that energy? When I get someone to really bring their curiosity and their attention in, and then I say, how's your head right now? Oh, it's really quieting down. Is your breath a bit easier? Oh yeah, I'm breathing a bit easier. And so we know that we've got a technique. When you find something that works for you, that kind of sparks up either that curiosity, or that you can really take your attention and awareness into, whether it's your muscles or your feet or anything sensory. Feel different fabrics. Close your eyes or look away and just feel the different textures. Notice the information that your hands are giving you about what they're touching. When we take all our awareness into that, make that the most important thing, just for the next minute, it quietens our brain down. When we know that we've actually got a method of managing that, then we're not so afraid of the negative thoughts. But also, do we believe our negative thoughts? Are they right? Is that absolutely true? If we were to say, really, to the negative thoughts, and just bring in the possibility that that might not be true, that we don't have to buy into that, then it can make it a bit easier to say, well, okay, I'm just gonna put that to one side for the moment, and I don't have to believe it. My thoughts are not me. They don't define me. What defines you much more is your body, the things that you feel in your body, because it's tangible. You pull your muscles in. They're real. You can feel them. Are they shaking? Yes, they're shaking. And you push your hands together. Can you feel the strength through your arms? Yes, I can really feel that. How does it feel when you let it go? Once we know we've got a management system for slowing this down, taking awareness into our body, then we don't any longer have to be really, really fearful of, oh my God, what happens if my negative thoughts start to come up? We know what we can do. I always encourage people, once they've got the things that work for them, that gives them that easy access into their body and feeling and taking their awareness in here, practice it. Practice it even when your thoughts aren't racing. Make it your go-to thing, because if our head is going into overdrive, or our activation levels, our anxiety levels are high, we're not really thinking very clearly, we're in panic mode and we've gone a bit offline. And so at that point, it's like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? I can't remember what to do. Either write it down, put it on your phone, make a note of it, stick it on your fridge near the kettle, and keep practicing it so it becomes a procedural thing, an automatic thing that we do. Some people, they like to make it a bit more complicated. Can you tense the muscle in one arm and the muscles in the diagonal leg at the same time? Can you do it on the other side? You have to really concentrate and think about it. But if you increase the level of difficulty, then sometimes it increases your ability to really try to take your awareness in. You're being mindful in that moment. But keep practicing them, because the more consistent, the more repetitive, the more they just kind of snap in, then that management system for our overthinking becomes much, much simpler to put in place. It shouldn't be really complicated. We're only taught to think, and it's so easy for that to go into overdrive overthinking. Also, some of the things that we're told that go round and round, especially when they're really negative, they've usually been told to us, they've been given to us, they've been consistent things that we've been told and we believe. We don't just make up negative things about ourselves out of nowhere just to make our lives more difficult. They've come in, they've been absorbed, they just stick, and they become this kind of repetitive cycle of things. We can make the things that we do with the body, the access to the body, just as repetitive, just as much our go-to place, but it's a really healthy thing to do, and it gives you a management system over this that can feel like it's out of control and driving you nuts. It doesn't need to. There's things we can do, it will automatically slow down. Just try it, it's really effective. I've got one client that taps out nursery rhymes with her toes. It really works for her. Find something that works, be experimental. Whatever access you can get, make it the easiest route possible. Keep practicing it so it becomes procedural. I really hope that's helpful and it helps you with your racing negative thoughts. If you like this video, then give us a thumbs up, subscribe below, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.